On March 24, 2015, the world was shocked by one of modern aviation history most tragic and disturbing events. Germanwings Flight 9525, en route from Barcelona, Spain to Düsseldorf, Germany, crashed into the French Alps, killing all 150 people on board. What made this disaster particularly horrifying was the revelation that the crash was deliberately caused by the co-pilot Andreas Lubitz. Andreas Lubitz was born on December 18, 1987 in Motorbor, a small town in the Rhineland-Palatinate region of Western Germany. He grew up in what seemed like a typical middle-class German family. His father, Guten Lubitz, was a respected businessman, and his mother was a piano teacher. The family lived a quiet life, and Andreas appeared to have a relatively normal upbringing. Friends and neighbors described him as polite, quiet, and introverted. From a young age, Lubitz was passionate about aviation. He dreamed of becoming a pilot and seemed determined to pursue this goal. He joined the Lufthansa flight training school in Bremen, Germany, and later trained in Phoenix, Arizona, United States of America, a common route for Lufthansa cadets due to the favorable flying conditions in the American Southwest. Lubitz began his flight training with Lufthansa in 2008, the parent company of Germanwings, a low-cost airline. However, his training was interrupted in 2009 due to what was later revealed as a serious depressive episode. He was temporarily declared unfit to fly and placed on medical leave. Despite this setback, he returned to training after receiving treatment and a doctor's clearance. In 2013, Lubitz officially joined Germanwings as a first officer co-pilot. Colleagues described him as quiet and reserved, though some noted he was ambitious and seemed pleased with achieving his dream of flying. However, unknown to many, he continued to suffer from mental health issues, including depression and suicidal ideation. In the aftermath of the crash, investigations revealed that Lubitz had been hiding the extent of his mental illness from his employer. He saw numerous doctors and psychiatrists in the months and years leading up to the crash. One doctor even diagnosed him with a psychosomatic disorder and advised him not to fly, but Lubitz never informed Germanwings or Lufthansa of these medical recommendations. Why will such important health information be concealed? Despite being legally required to disclose any condition that could affect flight safety, he continued to fly. Investigators later found torn-up sick notes in his apartment, including one that would have declared him unfit to work on the day of the crash, suggesting he deliberately concealed his condition. His internet history also revealed searches about suicide and cockpit door security, indicating premeditation. Germanwings Flight 9525 departed Barcelona Airport at 10:01 a.m. local time, heading to Düsseldorf. On board were 144 passengers and 6 crew members. The passengers were from 18 different countries, with the majority from Germany and Spain, including 16 high school students and 2 teachers returning from an exchange program. At approximately 10:27 a.m., the captain, Patrick, saw them left the cockpit to use the restroom. That was when Lubitz locked the cockpit door, a feature designed after the 9/11 attacks to prevent hijackings, and began manually descending the aircraft. Over the next 10 minutes, the Airbus A320 steadily lost altitude, heading directly toward the mountains. Air traffic controllers and the captain tried to contact the cockpit, but Lubitz did not respond. The cockpit voice recorder later revealed that the captain desperately tried to re-enter the cockpit, even attempting to break down the door, while passengers could be heard screaming in the final moment. At 10:41 a.m., the aircraft crashed into a remote area in the French Alps at 700 km per hour, killing everyone instantly. Was this a mechanical failure? A terrorist attack? The answer, of course, is no. The crash stunned the world. Initially believed to be a tragic accident, the truth came to light when French investigators analyzed the black boxes. Their findings were chilling. The descent was deliberate, and the co-pilot had remained silent and calm until the moment of impact. Authorities confirmed Lubitz's actions were intentional. Although he was never formally charged, having died in a crash, his actions were deemed criminal, amounting to mass murder. German prosecutors began massive investigations into how someone with a known history of mental illness had been allowed to fly. The spotlight turned to Lufthansa's oversight and aviation medical screening procedures. Critics argued that the cockpit door security, which Lubitz exploited, should have included an override system for emergencies. Families of the victims expressed outrage and outbreak. Lufthansa and Germanwings faced multiple lawsuits and offered financial compensation, but many argued that no money could account for such a preventable loss. The Germanwings crash prompted sweeping changes in aviation policy. Most airlines adopted the two-person cockpit rule, requiring two authorized personnel to be present in the cockpit at all times. Additionally, aviation authorities revisited mental health screening protocols for pilots. In Europe, the European Aviation Safety Agency, ESA, introduced stricter rules around psychological evaluations and reporting. Andreas Lubitz's story remains a grim reminder of the importance of mental health awareness, especially in professions where public safety is at stake. While his exact motives remain partially unclear, the evidence points to a calculated, premeditated decision to end his life and take 149 others with him. A tragedy that continues to hurt aviation history. Germanwings Flight 9525 reminds us of the hidden battles people face. May the victims rest in peace, and may the lessons never be forgotten. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more true crime stories. Until we come your way again, this is True Crime CSO. Peace.